Did you know that the self help guru Tai Lopez, aka here in my garage guy, is the son of a professional bodybuilder? And why exactly could that useless piece of trivia knowledge be important now? I've admittedly had some odd introductions throughout my almost 500 YouTube videos, but even I question if this one was a bit too strange. Don't worry, I won't leave you on a huge cliffhanger. Let's connect the dots between what Tai Lopez has been focusing on professionally for the last 3 years and bodybuilding. In 2019, Tai Lopez and his business partner founded the private equity firm Retail Ecommerce Ventures. The goal is to transform well known, undervalued retail brands into e commerce success stories. Retail e-commerce ventures has its focus squarely on paying discount prices for the intellectual property of high volume businesses with strong brand affinity. During negotiations, the company skips taking over expensive real estate and opts for acquiring the rights to use the brand and take it online. By stripping out the real estate and store level human capital costs, running a dramatically leaner operation is much easier to do. I analyzed retail e commerce ventures in an August 2020 content piece titled, What Has Tai Lopez Been Up to Lately? And if you haven't checked that out yet, I'll make it easy for you by popping it up right here. I'll also leave the content link in this content's description. I'd suggest watching it because the video goes into much more detail around the business strategies and early deal history of retail e commerce ventures. Just to recap some of the notable mergers and acquisitions activity for the private equity firm, they do own Pier 1 Imports, Radio Shack, Dress Barn, Steinmart, Models, sporting goods, and linen and things. Some of these have been kind of straightforward e commerce transformations, while others, like Radio Shack, took on a larger rebrand process. More on kind of why that Radio Shack strategy might be important later in this content. So, what does Tai Lopez and his retail e commerce ventures firm have in common with bodybuilding? They have acquired at least a material share of bodybuilding.com. The terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Tai Lopez did change his Twitter profile to reflect the online fitness store ownership. He also kind of made a post on Instagram stories. This would mark the third time in 3 years that bodybuilding.com was involved in a mergers and acquisitions transaction. The previous ones were in July 2019 when a related party transaction happened between Liberty Expedia Holdings and Expedia Group. Then in June 2020, Expedia Group was facing huge market pressures from the pandemic and had to shed non core travel assets, selling bodybuilding.com to a private equity group, the Najafi companies. Circling back to retail e commerce ventures, ownership of bodybuilding.com, there's some interesting language in the press release. It stated they struck a deal to partner and not explicitly stating they had acquired the company. The press release goes on to say that the partnership marks yet another high profile deal for retail e commerce ventures. The Najafi company's website also still lists bodybuilding.com as a current portfolio company, but that could just be like an update timing thing. If the Najafi companies did cut its losses early in the struggling supplement online retailer, it would be kind of out of character for a private equity firm that's personally funded and one that emphasizes value investing and holding on to those investments for 5 to 10 years. But regardless, why did retail e commerce ventures and bodybuilding.com believe this would be a potentially valuable strategic partnership? As I stated in the introduction, Tai Lopez is the son of a pro bodybuilder and acknowledged that he's been passionate about the bodybuilding.com platform for nearly 2 decades. Hey, I can empathize coming from a foundation of passion because I've publicly stated on many occasions that I likely wouldn't be where I am today without meeting supplement brand owners on the bodybuilding.com forums during the mid to late 2000s. More importantly, for retail e commerce ventures, Bodybuilder.com is a well known, undervalued retail brand that needs a transformation. Bodybuilder.com was the pioneer in e commerce that combined commerce, community, and content. Its platform currently includes an e commerce store with private label and third party brands, the Body Fit fitness coaching app, a neglected body space social media experience, and an old school form online community that reportedly has 15 million registered members. But it's kind of unknown how many are actually active. They also own a content library that boasts more than 25,000 articles and 9,000 videos, along with 11 million social media followers and 5 million YouTube subscribers. Tai Lopez believes the company's history is only in the first inning, and at a time when there's so much noise and confusion on the internet, Bodybuilding.com's trusted content, products, and community are more valuable than ever. This investment base case is sound, but I'm unsure if he truly understands what's repairable versus unrepairable at bodybuilding.com. I've consistently said in kind of numerous content pieces over the years that there's still value in bodybuilding.com, but is it worth repairing? These recent owners bought a falling knife and they got cut really bad. Maybe, though, Retail Ecommerce Ventures got a great deal. Maybe they have the right private equity business and shared operating model to make the economics work. Maybe they have the right domain expertise to make a transformation actually happen. And maybe they have fresh ideas and a higher risk tolerance than a publicly traded media, travel, and self funded private equity firm had in the past. The current Bodybuilding.com CEO, Carl Walsh, sure thinks it's possible, saying in the press release that Retail E-commerce Ventures' expertise in e-commerce, digital marketing, technology, and community building is a significant value add to our platform and will further catalyze our growth both domestically and internationally. Since I'm still working off a lot of assumptions, I'm going to keep this piece of content short. I've made a request to both bodybuilding.com and Tai Lopez for additional details. I was told from bodybuilding.com that they would speak internally with all partners and get back to me. So, depending on the information or maybe the access that I get, I'll make sure that I do create a more robust piece of content and one that will probably go into my strategic transformation plan for bodybuilding.com. So, if you don't want to miss that, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Also, if you enjoyed this YouTube video, consider hitting the like button to support me. But thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.